Hello there and welcome to Weekend Prime on this Saturday, the 20th day of May 2017. My name is Sophia Wanuna. Our sign language interpreter is William Silla. It's great to have your company with us. Tonight we're engaging with you on our big question on the National Super Alliance threat to boycott the August 8th elections if the final tally is not at the constituency level. So we're asking you, do you think NASA is justified to boycott the elections with the reasons that have been given? Get in touch with us tonight. You can tweet us at KTN News, at KTN Kenya. You can tweet me directly at Sophia Wanuna or send in a message on 22155. Let's now have a look at our top stories.
Kama wewe hutaki kwenda kwa uchaguzi, wewe kwenda nyumbani, wale wengine waendelee na mambo yao.
Boycott or no boycott, the elections will take place, says President Uhuru Kenyatta.
And make sure that Jubilee Party has the majority in the National Assembly and in the Senate.
I think it's important that our House starts putting their house in order.
Elections ingine ikija, hakuna haja kwenda kwa chama. Watu watasimama kama independent candidates.
And battle lines are drawn between Jubilee aspirants and the independent candidates.
Lazima tujue ni kina nani, walikuwa na lengo gani, na kazi yao wamefanya namna gani, na wanatarajia tena kuanza kuendelea namna gani.
I would just like to ask that the government, through its machinery, gets to the bottom of this and conclude the investigations in a very speedy manner.
Plus, the police now link family feud to the killings of the children of the Cap Sawyer MCA aspirant.
We are hoping to do 400 operations, but that means we need to raise at least 200 million shillings.
Nilioperatiwa mwezi wa 4 tarehe 11. Nilikuwa mgonjwa sana, sikuwa naweza kukula.
Also tonight, thousands participate in the Mata Hat Run to raise funds for treatment of heart diseases. We begin with President Uhuru Kenyatta has maintained that the general election will take place whether or not the opposition boycotts the poll. The president spoke in Isiolo on a Meet the People tour. He was alluding to a threat by NASA that they will not participate in the elections should the Court of Appeal allow a case by IEBC to have the results of the presidential election announced at the headquarters. NASA wants the results announced at the polling stations. Let's listen to what the president had to say.
Wale wenzetu ambao wanaendelea na mambo ya kutisha wengine, wajue ya kwamba Wakenya wanataka nafasi ya kujichagulia viongozi wao. Hawana haja na vitisho. Kama wewe hutaki kwenda kwa uchaguzi, wewe kwenda nyumbani, wale wengine waendelee na mambo yao. Mambo ya kutisha wengine sio demokrasia. Kenya sio nchi ya udikteta. Kenya ni nchi demokrasia. Wananchi wapatiwe haki ya kuchagua wale ambao wanataka.
Battle of its own kind it was, that is with Jubilee aspirants closing ranks to ward off competition from losers of the recent party primaries who resorted to vie as independent candidates. The Jubilee aspirants held a rally in Nanyuki as the independent ones, allied to President Uhuru Kenyatta, held theirs in Kasarani here in Nairobi. Let's begin with those that held their meeting in Nanyuki with Karen Derry.
The Jubilee Party nominees arrived at the designated venue at the Sweetwater's Serena Camp in Nanyuki for the one-day retreat to discuss pertinent party matters. The nominees drawn from 11 counties, Kiambu, Murang'a, Nyeri, Embu, Meru, Laikipia, Kirinyaga, Tharaka Nithi, Nakuru, Nyandarua and Nairobi converged here with a key agenda leaning on how to shore up voter numbers for President Uhuru Kenyatta's re-election bid.
They told me to go there
The meeting's other agenda was housekeeping matters, especially in light of the recent party primaries that were marred with chaos that led to fallouts within the party. There were calls for unity of purpose and the need to strengthen bonds amongst party members.
We want to discuss how we are going to mobilize our voters. The 11 counties that are going to be represented today represent roughly 8 million votes, just from this region.
To mobilize over 100% voter turnout in our counties and ensure that we are contributing to the Jubilee target of getting 70+1 or more during the coming elections, and therefore reassuring His Excellency the President a re-election.
So as far as we're concerned, we've already started planning in terms of how we're going to work together as a united team to support the Jubilee agenda.
We're having a discussion, one, on how we're going to approach the elections, and two, to start visioning for a legacy term for His Excellency the President.
The post-nominations fallouts have birthed huge cracks within the party, with those who lost forming their own caucus as independent candidates, who went on to hold a meeting at Kasarani that was simultaneous with today's Jubilee nominees meeting. Those vying on Jubilee, however, dismissed claims by independent candidates that urging voters to stick to a 6-piece voting would contribute to voter apathy and disenfranchisement. The nominees were emphatic that President Uhuru Kenyatta's votes remained intact within his strongholds despite the differences between party nominees and independent candidates.
It is wrong to call them independent candidates who are facing threats from losers, coalition of losers.
And we are happy, we are convinced that the entire vote in this region belongs to President Kenyatta. We have discussed the narrative that is being spread, that those who we beat in the nominations, their exit from the scene may affect the presidential vote, that there could be apathy.
Those who were running independent before, there's no problem. They were focused on what they wanted to do. This other one is a reactionary. It has no other motivation apart from just making the noise which they are likely to make. And they are welcome. That's democracy.
There's freedom of association in Kenya, so I will let them meet because it's a group of people meeting, because I believe as independents, we cannot say they are meeting to strategize anything.
They also told off the National Super Alliance Coalition, NASA, over its claims of having 10 million voters on its side.
We have said our target in Jubilee is 70+1, which comes to close to 14 to 15 million voters. So we are not very concerned about the number they throw around. It's whether they have the track record to ensure that they can actually deliver those numbers.
Where are theirs? Let them show us. We can account for our numbers, our 14 million, one after the other. We are starting off here with a small token to our president from people from his region of 8 million.
About 40 nominees attended the Nanyuki meeting. Carol Derry, KTN News, Nanyuki, Laikipia County.
Well, more than 3,000 independent candidates have formed a new alliance with the hopes of emerging victorious come August the 8th. The candidates converged at the Kasarani Indoor Arena to endorse Kiambu Governor William Kabogo as their chair, with his deputy as Uasin Gishu gubernatorial aspirant Zedekiah Buzeki. And as Timothy Otieno reports, the lot, seemingly with a new political lease of life, are promising to alter Kenya's political landscape in the coming election.
The political composition of those gathered here was made up of faces of people who were trounced during the just concluded Jubilee primaries. But just ask the independents here and they'll tell you the nomination exercise was riddled with controversy, edging them out of a race they insist they would have won. Led by Kiambu Governor William Kabogo, the group has now formed a coalition, the Kenya Alliance of Independent Candidates, that they say will deliver victory to them come August the 8th.
God willing, I will still be the governor of the great county of Kiambu. Come September.
Kabogo's tone was much different from the one the country witnessed last month when he conceded defeat to Ferdinand Waititu.
I'm saying to Ferdinand Waititu, I wish you well. I'm saying to the people of Kiambu, it was great serving you.
The group now says they are targeting 100 parliamentary seats in the next August House, a declaration made after the IEBC announced that it had cleared more than 4,500 independent candidates to participate in the August 8th polls.
Elections ingine ikija, hakuna haja kwenda kwa chama. Watu watasimama kama independent candidates. Manake hakuna haja ya kutupa pesa uende kwa mchujo, na ni mchujo umechorewa na watu hawawezi na wanataka kuingia kwa kifua.
If today Buzeki or Kabogo or Mr. Giringi is not in the ballot, two things will happen. One, wale ambaye tutakuwa tumewachia viti hawataenda kupiga kura because they already be celebrating wameshinda. The second thing, sisi pia wafuasi wetu watakataa kwenda kupiga kura because they will be jilted. So it will be a double tragedy.
But perhaps the group could face a tough challenge selling themselves to the electorate in a country that still heavily depends on party affiliation for political dominance. The independents, most of whom engaged in the Jubilee primaries, would endorse Uhuru Kenyatta's bid for a second term in office.
Sisi si watoto wa kambo. Tulizaliwa katika boma ya Uhuru Ruto na tuko na haki ya kudai haki yetu katika hiyo boma ya Uhuru Ruto.
Tuko hapa kama wana independent kwa sababu tunapenda nchi yetu. Tuko hapa kwa sababu tunataka katiba yetu iheshimiwe.
Mkutano huu uko au ulikuwa na watu wanaania viti 3,000. Na kila mmoja wa wale 3,000 ako na jamii anaweza ita family and friends. Na wako na kura ambazo ni kiasi kwa uchache sana kiasi ya kura 100. Ukifanya hesabu easy mathematics, mimi na bibi yangu na watu yangu 100 tu mara 3,000 ni kura 1,300 au 300,000. Ukichezea kura 300,000 ni kusema uelewi ni kitu gani siasa inafanyika.
The delegation of about 3,000 strong are hoping their sustained momentum heading into the elections will change the country's political landscape for a group that has already made history as the highest number of independent candidates ever witnessed in a Kenyan election. Politics is a game of numbers, and independents say they have the backing of the people at the grassroots level to ensure victory come August the 8th. And their call to other politicians is to take them very seriously if they want political scales to tilt in their favor. Timothy Otieno, KTN News.
And speaking in Rarieda, NASA leaders dismissed independent candidates, saying if they lost once, they should accept the fact and move on. Led by ODM leader Raila Odinga, the leaders had attended the burial of the late mother of ODM Rarieda nominee Otiende Amolo, who was also the former ombudsman.
Katika kiwango cha kule juu, tumeweka ambition yetu chini na tumesema tuungane na tuunge Raila mkono. Sasa mimi nauliza jameni, wale walishindwa hapa kwa mchujo, mbona hamuigi mfano wa sisi? Ili hii mambo ikwishe mara moja. Kwa sababu hatutaki Raila awe akiangalia nyuma. Wakati anafanya kampeni ya kitaifa, hatakikani kuangalia nyuma ati nini inafanyika Siaya. Wewe namna gani bwana? Wewe mtu ambao umeshindwa hapa kwa mchujo unaenda nini independent?
23% in 23 counties. And that 23% will not be counted by those who are outside NASA. So we are telling you that if you want to be as a true supporter of Raila, please support all the candidates of our party who are within the NASA coalition.
Kuna vyama 5, si 6, si 7, si 8. Na Raila ndiye akuwe rais, lazima apate 50+1. Na akishapata 50+1, usisahau anahitaji 25% in 23 counties. Pigia kura ile, ukipigia kura ile chama iko outside NASA, hiyo kura si ya nani? Si ya Raila. Chunga sana.
We as NASA are united and we have a formula for the malady that is afflicting Kenya today. We have a formula of how we are going to bring down the prices of basic commodities, the price of food, the price of transport, the cost of transport, the cost of rents. All these things are going to come down under the NASA government within the first 90 days of our administration. We have a short-term, medium-term, and long-term plan of how to transform Kenya, to move Kenya's economy from a struggling third-world economy to a middle-income economy by the year 2030.
Is the National Super Alliance justified to threaten to boycott the August 8th general elections? That's our big question tonight. Keep your messages coming. Let me sample. You have Nyakaba Tomishira who's saying yes, no need to go into a predetermined election. Victor Peter says NASA wants a fair ground for fair play, nothing more. I support them to the end, no more malpractices. Solomon Ambuku, you say NASA is justified. IEBC stance is like taking a stool test in a village clinic and getting results at the Kenyatta National Hospitals. Then David Ludogoli, NASA is justified because IEBC is acting funny and taking sides is what you're saying. Another one here from Kiprotich Phil, you're saying yes, indeed, there is an importance for transparency and not playing games. Keep your thoughts coming at KTN News at Sophia Wanuna. Would love to hear from you tonight. We're taking a break. We'll be back with more after this.